In Kota, Rajasthan, where thousands of students come every year to chase their dreams, there exists a hidden nightmare, one that not many speak about. This is the story of Rohit, a young student who came to Kota with nothing but hopes of success. But what he encountered was something far more sinister. Rohit had just checked into an old hostel, one that had been around for decades. It was affordable, nothing too fancy, perfect for a student trying to make ends meet. The hostel manager, a frail old man, handed him the keys but paused before leaving him alone. With a strange glint in his eyes, he said, "Don't wander the halls at night. Some doors are better left closed." Rohit brushed it off as nothing more than the ramblings of an old man. The first night, everything seemed normal, until midnight. Rohit, trying to focus on his studies, heard faint footsteps echoing down the hallway. At first, he thought it was another student returning late, but as the sounds continued, footsteps, creaking floors, a door slamming shut, he felt something wasn't quite right. He stepped out of his room to check, but the hallway was empty, silent. His heart raced as the noises faded into nothingness. Unnerved, he returned to his room and forced himself to sleep, blaming the old building for the strange noises. The following night, the sounds returned. But this time, they were louder. The footsteps were right outside his door. A deep creak echoed through the hall, followed by a door swinging open. Rohit, feeling braver than the night before, grabbed a flashlight and stepped into the hall. As he walked toward the source of the sound, he felt the air grow colder. His breath turned shallow, and his heart pounded in his chest. And then, he saw it. At the end of the hallway stood a figure. A shadowy silhouette of a young man, standing still, staring. Rohit froze. His mind raced, and when he blinked, the figure was gone. The next day, Rohit met Priya, another student who had been living at the hostel for a few months. She noticed the fear in his eyes and pulled him aside. "You've seen him, haven't you?" she asked. Rohit hesitated, but eventually nodded. Priya took a deep breath and told him the story of the hostel's dark past. Years ago, a student named Ravi had mysteriously disappeared. He was last seen walking into one of the hostel rooms late at night, but after that, no one ever saw him again. The hostel management tried to cover it up, claiming Ravi had run away, but rumors spread among the students. Many believed that Ravi's spirit still lingered in the hostel, unable to leave. Priya showed Rohit an old photo of Ravi, his face pale, his eyes hollow. Rohit's stomach churned. It was the same face he had seen the previous night in the hallway. That night, Rohit couldn't shake the feeling that Ravi was watching him. That night, Rohit tried to sleep, but the whispers began. Faint at first, then growing louder. Footsteps echoed once again outside his door. And then, a loud slam. His door flew open, and standing in the doorway was Ravi's ghost. Cold air swept through the room as the figure stood still, staring at Rohit. This time, Ravi didn't disappear. Asterisk. Rohit's heart raced, and for a moment, he couldn't move. Ravi pointed, slowly, toward the floor. And then, as quickly as he appeared, he was gone. Rohit's hands trembled. What did it mean? Why the floor? The next day, Rohit and Priya decided to investigate. They found old records and floor plans of the hostel, and what they discovered sent chills down their spines. Beneath the hostel, directly under Rohit's room, was a hidden basement. A basement that had been sealed off years ago. That night, they returned to the hostel and pried open the hidden door to the basement. Inside, the air was thick with dust and the smell of decay. In the corner, they found something that confirmed their worst fears, a pile of old belongings and, lying in the shadows, a skeleton. Ravi's remains, forgotten and left to rot. It was clear now. Ravi hadn't run away. He had been trapped here all along, his life cut short within the very walls of the hostel. His spirit, seeking justice, had been trying to communicate, trying to show them the truth. The police were called, and Ravi's remains were finally given a proper burial. For the first time in years, the hostel felt peaceful. But Rohit couldn't help but wonder, was it truly over? That night, as he lay in bed, he listened to the silence. No footsteps, no whispers, only the eerie calm of the night. He closed his eyes, hoping it was all behind him. But just as he drifted off to sleep, there it was. A faint creak, a soft whisper. The story wasn't over. Some stories are never truly finished. In Kota, there are doors better left closed. Subscribe for chilling stories.